Lesson 1. God's plan is greater than man's intentions. Genesis 50:20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Lesson. Even when people betray or hurt you, God can use those situations for a greater purpose. Trust His plan, even in adversity. Reflection. Have you ever faced betrayal? How can you trust God to turn it around for good? Lesson 2. Stay faithful, even in the pit. Genesis 39:2-3. The Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered. His master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord gave him success in everything he did. Lesson. Joseph remained faithful to God despite being sold into slavery. Whether in the pit or the palace, he kept his integrity and trust in God. Reflection. How do you respond when things don't go as planned? Are you remaining faithful in difficult seasons? Lesson 3. Flee from temptation. Genesis 39:12. She caught him by his cloak, and said, "Come to bed with me." But he left his cloak in her hand, and ran out of the house. Lesson. When faced with temptation, Joseph didn't negotiate, he ran. We should have the same urgency in avoiding sin. Reflection. What temptations do you need to flee from today? Lesson 4. God's timing is perfect. Genesis 41:14. So Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and he was quickly brought from the dungeon. Lesson. Joseph spent years in prison before God's perfect time came for him to be elevated. Delays are not denials. Reflection. Are you waiting on God for something? Trust His timing, even when it seems slow. Lesson 5. Forgive and show grace. Genesis 45:5. Do not be distressed or angry with yourselves for selling me here, because it was to save lives that God sent me ahead of you. Lesson. Joseph forgave his brothers even after all they did. Forgiveness frees us and allows God's plan to unfold. Reflection. Is there someone you need to forgive today?